It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go! Wednesday show. March 29, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com. However you're watching, thank you for doing so. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon. I'm not wasting any time with you two guys. Fletch, put up my stat. I'm coming out the gate hot. I told you that women's basketball in college is going to take over men's basketball in college, and I didn't even think that they may even surpass the NBA. This is, according to Complex Sports, Sunday's Iowa versus Louisville Women's Elite 8 matchup on ESPN had more views than any other game on ESPN this year.
It's so funny because Tom Mazawey, I was going to open up the show today with an apology to Braylon Edwards, but he beat me to it.
Give it to me, baby.
Braylon Edwards, I apologize to you for poo-pooing the college women's game. I think about that for a second.
I'm just saying.
The NCAA college women's basketball game between, who was it, Iowa and Louisville? Had more viewers this year on ESPN than any other game played on ESPN in the NBA.
This season.
I'm telling you. 2.5 million people watched Iowa and Louisville. 2.15 million people, the highest rated basketball game on ESPN this season. That is saying a lot about both things.
I remember having this conversation with you guys last January, talking about how good this girl can shoot out of Iowa. I remember watching her just tear Michigan to shreds. They were down 20, and she came back to beat Michigan, who was the number 1 seed last year in that tournament. She was just that good, that electric. And since then, I've seen Stephen Curry talking about Caitlin Clark. I've seen KD talking about Caitlin. I've seen LeBron. I've seen Kyrie. They've got everybody talking about her. Like, what she does is legit. 40-point triple-double. Maz hit on it yesterday. They went to quarters, made the game faster. The game is intriguing, is interesting, at least at the college level. I'm telling you, I wasn't just making up stuff. And it's on the rising of, like, when the NCAA tournament sucks for men.
Tom Mazawey, does this say more about the growth of the women's game or how crappy a product the NBA is?
It's both, really. Yeah. And I was going to say, I don't watch either. So I'm not watching NBA regular season, and I'm not watching women's basketball regular season. I do watch the Final Four. I do enjoy it. I always loved watching when UConn was in it and when Tennessee was in it. It was good basketball. It was fun. I love seeing Gino Auriemma on one side, and I love seeing
Pat Summitt,
God rest her soul, on the other side. But now there's newer coaches dressing fun on the sidelines, and the players are much better than they used to be. How about the Twins that play for Miami, Florida? They're making how much NIL money?
They already make $800 a pop. They're making money now.
It's coming. It really is.
We don't have to go on for too long. I just wanted to say.
Look,
I saw. By the way, that came from Noah Blair. Noah, I appreciate. If you got some more of these tidbits, slide them into my DM so I can come here and show them the Maz and Ryan every day. Appreciate that.
And Caitlin Clark, absolutely, she is just as good a shooter as anybody. In the men's game too. I mean, she is a flat-out scorer. And it's not so much about the women's game that I want to get into. It's just, think about those TV deals that the NBA has and how few people are watching an NBA game on ESPN. And I almost think that's why, not to go down this road, but the NBA probably doesn't even care what it's doing in this country because of how embedded they are overseas, in France, in China, in everywhere else.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that streaming is very huge for them. ESPN, ESPN Plus. That's why they got so many different channels. You go on ESPN Plus, every game is on. They got soccer, they got basketball. They got so many games. Hockey, hockey's back.
Most of the hockey is on ESPN.
It's all on ESPN. Yeah, it's all on ESPN. The only game I've heard about being on regular ESPN was the Ovechkin and Sidney Kidd game last week, and I didn't hear anything about it.
No, they don't even broadcast it. They don't even put it out like on commercials anymore.
It's crazy, man. But this is a real thing. I'm just saying. I told you.
I mean, look. When you're right, you're right. And I wanted to give you your proper due. And again, I look at this. not that 2 million people are watching a women's game. I look at that. Only 2 million people have watched an NBA game this year at one time, at one single game. And what is the disconnect with the NBA? What is wrong with this league?
Too many games.
I get that, but the crazy thing is in one swoop, it's like, oh, this is the best NBA of all time. If you look at from top to bottom, this is the best talent of all time. These are the best shooters of all time. These are the best athletes of all time. These are the best situations of all time. All right, well, prove it. Why ain't nobody watching? Why ain't nobody? They're getting all this money, all this bread, but no one's watching.
I don't think there's a likable guys in it. I don't think you want to see LeBron anymore. The only thing I want to watch is Steph Curry. That's all I care about.
I don't necessarily think it's likable. I just think that everybody likes each other, and there's no more rivalries, there's no more battle. That's why for that little moment, you got Dylan Brooks and you got Draymond Green. That was good for the NBA. You got a little rivalry. Now you got Memphis. Now you have Golden State. There's Clay. There's Ja. There's a rivalry. Nobody hates each other anymore. I watched some of that women's college basketball tournament last weekend and the weekend before that. They're chippy now. They're fighting. They're slapping each other's hand. There was
punching each other.
There was almost
a walk-through line.
You saw that too. That was like Miami and Louisville. Was almost a brawl. Like,
fine.
They're like, you know what, the hell with that. They're still getting after it because they're not being watered down. They're not friends like the NBA is. Like, everybody's in the NBA is friends.
And we talked about that as a way to harm the game. Yeah. I do think that harms the game when everybody's friends. We just crossed over March 26th, the anniversary of Darren McCarty and Claude Lemieux, rivalry. The Turtle game, the rivalry, the hatred. I don't think there's any league. There aren't two teams in any league, all pro sports, that hate each other as much as the Red Wings and Avs hated each other back then, or the Canadians and the Maple Leafs. They don't hate the Pistons and the Bulls, the Lakers and the Celtics, the Yankees and the Red Sox. They don't hate like that anymore.
Raiders and the Broncos.
The Raiders and the NFL.
There you go. The Raiders and the NFL,
nobody hates each other anymore, and I do think that is a big reason why a lot of these leagues are failing. The natural rivalries do not exist anymore. Maz, you grew up a Yankee fan. You hated the Red Sox.
I still do.
And I know you do.
I
know you do. But does a 14-year-old kid who grows up a Yankee fan hate the Red Sox?
Not yet.
No,
not anymore.
They don't. And you know how we have proof of that? Last year, before the Ohio State-Michigan game, they interviewed Aiden Hutchinson, Detroit's own, University of Michigan's own, shout out to the Wolverines, and they asked him about the rivalry, and he gave us a political answer. Like, that alone is just telling you where sports is as a whole in terms of, like, the rivalries or, you know, the back and forth. Like, last year, when it was when it was the Cincinnati Bengals and it was the Kansas City Chiefs, and then you had the mayor of Cincinnati talking stuff, you had the players from Cincinnati talking stuff. Outside of it being Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes, there was a little bit more in that game. You're like, okay, they was talking some stuff about Burrow here. I want to see how that plays out. Rivalries and smack talk make the game the game. I don't even like watching Memphis or Golden State play into the playoffs, but I will watch Memphis and Golden State right now because I know Draymond and Dylan Brooks hate each other. It's about rivalries.
Did you see what came out just a few minutes before we went on the air?
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas put out something on the Sports Center.
On Michael Jordan.
Still talking about Jordan?
On Jordan. He's like, if Jordan hated me, and he called me an a-hole. He said he hated me.
Right.
Because someone asked him, what can you do to repair that friendship?
Yeah, what will it take to repair the relationship
and Isaiah
between
said,
Isaiah
he said he hated me and he hates my guts and he called me an a-hole.
On national TV.
Go on national TV and apologize to me. And that ain't going to happen.
No.
At the end of the day, with that, look, I want to put look, Isaiah is my favorite. We talk about Isaiah. We talk about what the city, what Isaiah means to the city. Love Isaiah. Is my favorite point guard of all time. He's one of my favorite players of all time. Just let it go. Like, he's been on every podcast. He's been on All the Smoke. He's been actually All the Smoke drops tomorrow with Isaiah Thomas. It's a 2-part joint. You guys, he's been on Knuckleheads. He's been on all the NBA around. He's been on everything. At the end of the day, Zeke, we get it. Jordan did you dirty, because Zeke basically took Jordan in when Jordan was younger in Chicago. We'll let him come to the house. We'll take care of him, make sure he was good in the neighborhood. Chicago's all where Zeke was a bad place. Took Jordan in, and he wanted that to get out. It's now out. Stop talking about it.
But again, I understand if you want to talk about the individual rivalry, but the hatred lives on today.
Yeah,
those teams hated each other.
Yeah.
And we've got a great group of young men in the back that really help make us what we are today here at Woodward Sports. They're back there. They're grinding. They're doing all the dirty work. They're doing everything that you guys don't see. But Lucas is we got one of our social media guys. Lucas, he's a great kid. I call him a kid. I'm sorry, he's a young man, but he's in his early 20s, and he has never seen a winner here in Detroit. How is that guy supposed to be a fan of sports? You know, we are.
Well, he had the Tigers. He was 10 years old, but he had the Tigers.
Yeah, okay.
What did they win?
But they didn't win.
They were dominating baseball, except for the winning the World Series.
Okay, fine, but
for 10 years.
You know, he hasn't grown up.
But did they win like that? No, but that's a good question because it's. But is that
I still say they were winners. Remember, we owned the Central. I still have the T-shirt in on.
I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about a 20-something young man.
Yeah, he was 10.
Who has grown up in an era. Who did the Tigers hate then, though? I'm talking about rivalries. Like who do you hate?
Indians. I hated the Indians.
I grew up, I hated the Chicago Bulls.
They should have hated themselves.
I hated the Boston Celtics. You know, I mean, I just don't know who you hate anymore. I hated the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, I hated the Colorado Avalanche.
I hated the Chicago Blackhawks.
I hated the Buffalo Bills.
You know, there's and I do think that adds to a lack of caring.
I have a lot of sports
storylines.
Sports hate is awesome.
I disagree with that, man. That might be a good question to open up in the chat. Is that considered winning? Like, what is considered seeing a winner when you grow up? Because for Lucas, if you talk about dominating the Central for those couple of years in baseball where they didn't win the World Series and all you have is bad memories, it's not dominating. Like, at least me, I have when I say winner, I have a vivid memory of Chauncey Billups holding up the Larry O'Brien. I have a vivid memory of him holding up the MVP of the Finals trophy. I have a vivid memory of Isaiah Thomas stumping up and down on the court, throwing the basketball up. I got the champagne. I remember the Red Wings. I remember what Jefferson looked like in 97, 98. So it's like I have a vivid memory of actual championship. Them being a good baseball team, that's like I see it as different, and I feel bad for them.
The Wings too. They won.
They did. Wings won 08. They did. I give you that one. That's a good one.
So, I mean, it's really interesting to see where these leagues are.
Should have been 09,
there's
too.
no, I mean,
absolutely.
Do you even care to tune in? I mean, when the Lakers played the Celtics, it was appointment viewing. But now you don't care. They're all friends with each other.
Give a damn.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't matter.
It's only going to be a game. It's only going to be about 10 games a year in the regular season that you really want to watch. I
don't even know if there's that anymore. That's the point.
There's going to be one where you got Jason Tatum and Giannis. There's going to be one where you got Embiid and Jokic, and hell, Embiid didn't even play the other night because he was getting ready for the playoffs, so that counts as that game. You got Golden State maybe in the Celtics.
Point too that we don't even talk about.
Below management, why I have to get ready for the playoffs, so I'm not going to play this game. I understand Embiid wanted to get ready for the playoffs. I understand that winning a championship is more important than the MVP trophy. But you play the game to be the best of the best. And if I got Jokic and I got Embiid, the guys that are 1 and 2 in the MVP race, and I know this game's going to decide the MVP race, you got to give the people what they want. You can't sit out and say, well, it's about the finals. Well, then don't talk about not getting the MVP every year, Embiid.
Lack of hatred, lack of rivalries in sports is a major reason why, Braylon Edwards, people are not watching these games. The ratings for the NBA and the NHL, Major League Baseball before it, are at near historic lows, if not totally in the toilet.
When everybody's getting paid, when everybody's happy, when everybody's got $20 million cribs, everybody's got 7 cars, everybody's doing well. What am I really angry about?
You have women's.
What am I angry about?
You have women's college basketball games outdrawing the NBA.
I'm the 10th man on the bench making $5 million a year.
No offense to the
women's game. You can go further than that, Ryan. They're definitely outdrawing the NHL.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, no offense to the women's games.
Not at all, because it's a great game.
If you're Adam Silver or you're Gary Bettman,
you got some work to do.
And women's college basketball games are outdrawing your television audiences, you have a major problem, and you have failed your leagues.
Are you ready for this? Little side note before we go to the break.
Go ahead, man.
There's a soccer league, Women's Pro Soccer League, and I don't know the exact WPSL or whatever the hell it's called. You know, it's gaining popularity. They had 40,000 at the stadium the other day to watch a women's professional soccer game.
What?
Yeah, and I watched not a 30 for 30, but a Real Sports on it.
Okay.
Ryan Gumbel.
E60?
Yeah, it was a Real Sports on HBO on this soccer league, and it is really picking up steam. Women's sports, guys, are picking up steam. Maybe not for us, but it's picking up steam around the country.
They're feisty. Like, women are in the same position. Think about this. Women are in the same position that men were in back in the 80s. Men wanted to get what? They wanted to get paid. Like, I'm trying to get sponsorship dollars. I'm trying to be the one. I'm trying to be featured. I'm trying to get my worth on the court. I'm trying to get my worth on the field. Women are in that space that guys were in the 80s. And what did that lead to in the 80s? Fights, rivalries, FUs. It's about me. What about? It led to that, and that's what you see women in now. They're trying to get paid, so they're like, the hell with that. It's just us.
You know who might get paid? Lamar Jackson. Did one signing earlier today give a little bit of a roadmap to where Lamar Jackson is going to go and where the Lions missed their guy. We'll tell you all about that coming up. But first, a message from Custom Health Centers, a customized approach to weight loss. Helped me lose 20 pounds, my target goal. I never felt better. Very strong like bull. That's right. They take the willpower out of weight loss, whether it's 20 pounds, 120 pounds. Custom Health Centers has a customized approach. They have a solution for you. Call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number, or no. That's Guardian Alarm. 1-844-789-THIN. If you want help from Custom Health Centers, call 1-844-789-THIN. We'll do Guardian Alarm later this hour.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan.
Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals in town. Plus, they will beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Yeah, look, we turned the tape on, man, and it is, I tell you what, man, you talk about a lot of respect for a big man. Oh, my gosh. That is, and I just keep watching. I'm like, man, there's no way he can feel good. That body cannot feel good, but it looks like it feels good because he is a force to be reckoned with. Man, you put him in a closed in, you're not running over there. He can rush as the 3 technique still on 3rd down. He just, man, and he's got length, he's got size, he's still quick. So, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we're not the only one who's on him, so.
Want to thank DetroitLions.com for that audio. It was fun while it lasted. Braylon Edwards, Calais Campbell signs with the Atlanta Falcons on a 1-year deal. This from Ian Rappaport. Falcons making another splash. Former Ravens star Calais Campbell intends to sign a 1-year deal with them. The Pro Bowler and former Walter Payton Man of the Year will lend leadership to a young team that he believes in, and Atlanta adds again on defense. So congratulations to the Atlanta Falcons for winning the Calais Campbell sweepstakes. Dan Campbell very high on the 36-year-old, the oldest position player in the NFL, Calais Campbell. Braylon Edwards, you had a lot of thoughts about this yesterday, and I'm sure you got a lot about it today.
Oh, 100%. This is a situation where, I look at it like this. The team that we've been talking about most in the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes is Atlanta Falcons. And you look at the Atlanta Falcons last year, they go all in on Deshaun Watson. But now all of a sudden they're cool. They're good at quarterback. They're good with Desmond Ridder this year after they released Marcus Mariota. Okay. Initially out of them super fast. Not even talking about moving up in the draft to get a quarterback. Not even talking about the draft process. Not talking about Anthony Richardson. Not talking about Will Levis. Not talking about C.J. Stroud. Not talking about Bryce Young. Not talking about Hendon Hooker. None of these guys. We're good on our quarterback. Desmond Ridder. We're good with our 4th round quarterback from last year. Now Calais Campbell is a guy who just played in Baltimore. where Lamar Jackson also plays. This is all speculation, but now he's going down to Atlanta, would play for the Falcons. So two things come to mind. One, Lamar Jackson is still going to be an Atlanta Falcon, which Maz has been saying from jump. I'm now on it, and I just see the things moving. I see the things happening. So now you see Calais Campbell, who played with Lamar, and the other thing is Jalen Carter the signing pick that they're looking for down there in Atlanta? Is that the move that they're looking for, Jalen Carter?
At 8.
At 8. I mean, this is a real position. You're talking about a guy, he's a D tackle that they desperately need. He played his college ball down the street in Athens, Georgia. It's right down the street. Calais Campbell now can come to the Atlanta Falcons and essentially do the same thing I said he could do here for the Detroit Lions, which is mentor him, talk to him, work with him, see where his head is at, and give him a face that he can trust, not somebody up in the front office of the team or not some former player like that's working with the team. Now, you got a guy that's on the team right now. You got a guy that's working with you. He's beside you. His hands in the dirt next to yours. So this Calais Campbell move, and I could be just doing way too much conspiracy theory, but it looks like it can open up the floodgates for Lamar Jackson, which we've been talking about, to be a Falcon, as well as them to have serious interest in Jalen Carter.
I don't know about that.
Why not?
I'm thinking another player. I'm thinking maybe he's going there because maybe they just will sign you know who at quarterback. Lamar Jackson. I don't know if they're caring as much on Jalen Carter as they are of maybe Lamar Jackson. And we'll get to it in a minute.
You didn't hear the first thing I said?
I did.
But in any trade, they will probably give up that 8th pick, probably, right?
They got to give up a 1 and a 1.
Yeah.
We'll work something out.
Yeah.
we'll work something out.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson, though, I mean,
he's going somewhere.
That would immediately. By the way, Atlanta is the new favorite to get Lamar Jackson.
Even though their owner came out and said, no, thank you, we're not going to do that.
Because he really didn't come out and say no thank you. This is from Ari Mayro, Falcons owner. Arthur Blank told a group of reporters that Lamar Jackson's situation is very different than Deshaun Watson from a year ago. Blank did mention there's more concern with Lamar's style and how long it could hold up. He brought up the games he missed over the last 2 years. Each game counts in the business. So with that, I didn't see that as him shutting it down. It just seems like questions that he had, seemed like questions that he was raising, and it also seems like fluff for what you really do under the guys.
Yeah, and it is a different situation. I do agree with you. I think Lamar Jackson is going to play for the Atlanta Falcons. I wish I was wrong on that. Why it's not the New York Jets, I'll never understand why they would choose to go for Aaron Rodgers. If you're going to give up a 1 or a 2 or whatever you're going to go up for Aaron Rodgers, why you wouldn't do that for Lamar Jackson, I will never be able to understand. I just cannot. I'm not smart enough to understand why the Jets would do that.
They're not even talking to him.
Yeah, I'll never understand
I'm thinking it's the whole relationship between Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. I think they really want to save Zach Wilson, and they feel Aaron Rodgers is going to be that guy. I don't know why they would think that, because in his career he's never really been that kind of guy.
Last 4 years he's been.
Yeah, he's never been that kind of guy, but we'll see. Maybe that's the only thing I could last on as a Jet fan.
We mentioned the Arthur Blank and the Lamar Jackson. I want to put it. Lamar Jackson responded to those situations. Lamar Jackson says, I don't remember me sitting out this. He went to Twitter and he was very outspoken on Twitter, Lamar Jackson, about some of the things that were going on right now. I don't remember ever sitting out on my guys. I can't read that. I'm sorry. I apologize. I got to come down here first. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I'm trying to read it.
It's all right.
I'll just wait for it to come here. Here it is. I don't remember me sitting out on my guys week 1 versus the Jets to week 12 versus the Broncos. How come all of a sudden I sit out because of money, in which I could have gotten hurt at any time within that time frame? When we know the Super Bowl been on my mind since April of 2018. Let's get real. I'd rather have a 100% PCL than go out there and play horrible, forcing myself to put my guys in a bad situation. Now that's selfish to me. So he is responding to his naysayers, Arthur Blank potentially being one of them. Primetime, Deion Sanders weighed in as well. One of the things about Primetime too, I'll let you comment on this.
Yeah.
In that 60-minute special, He said he will never coach in the NFL, no matter how much money is ever offered at him, because he says he would end up killing somebody. He just, his style would not work with today's professional athlete. Coach Prime, stop explaining yourself to fools and allow fools to be fools. A brother trying that's strong, believes in himself, and willing to stand for what he believes in, will always be misunderstood and judged by fools of all ethnicities. Love you, my brother, and I believe in you. So, Coach Prime weighing in on Lamar Jackson.
That's good information. And the reason why let me walk that statement back.
Prime's in the news every day now.
He's smart. Like he gets it. He's like the Donald Trump of college football. He just knows what to say and knows what to say. Just looking at that, you want to say you appreciate that from Prime, and you definitely appreciate that from Prime, because he's in the struggle right now. And talking about Lamar Jackson chose not to go with an agent, and now it's kind of starting to bite him in the butt a little bit. And did everything right by the franchise. He's done everything he's supposed to do. He's won an MVP year 2. He's won a playoff game. I mean, they haven't even given him any weapons necessarily outside of Mark Andrews that were, the comparison weapons of a Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, a Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So, pump the brakes on that. But and you want him to be able to do it. It's like now people are mad at Lamar for something that's not his fault. He should have an agent. Who the hell is he not to have an agent? Who the hell is he to demand guaranteed money? It's like the narrative have turned people against Lamar, and it's just not cool. Now you see Lamar kind of getting frustrated. Now he's coming out to Twitter. He doesn't talk at all. And yesterday he drops 3 pages on Twitter. He doesn't talk at all. Today he drops, to combat what happened, what somebody was saying about him. So he's in a frustrated place. It just sucks that it happened like this, where Kyler Murray signs, and then the Deshaun Watson deal happens. It's an outlier. Nobody wants to pay that. Then he gets injured, and now he has to be even in a situation where he says, you know what, I'm going to trust my team. I'm going to take the field. I'm going to play for my brothers. And all of a sudden, you still don't want to pay him. You still want to say he shouldn't have took the field. You still want to say, well, you know what, he shouldn't have sat out those 5 games. He hurt his team. He's just in a tough spot, and I wish somebody would come out and wrap their arm around him and get him through the situation, because it's clear he can't do it by himself. We're still waiting, but it doesn't seem like he can do it by himself.
Is it too late for him to hire an agent?
No, it's never too late.
Then go out and get freaking Drew Rosenhaus.
Call Drew.
It's never too late to get an agent. But from Lamar Jackson, I'm kind of understanding what mindset might be. You don't want to stand on your ground, stand firm on your ground, fight through last season where you shouldn't have stepped on the field altogether, like Ryan and Ermanni said. And now you've gotten to the point where it's like, they're questioning, they're questioning your commitment. They're questioning where you really hurt. Now all of a sudden you hire Drew Rosenhaus. You bring in some Drew Rosenhaus to save the day. You bring in some guy to save the day, and that's how he and his mom are looking for. Look, pride comes before the fall. And I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but that's where they're at with it. They don't want to go through all this and then bring in a Drew Rosenhaus to save the day, or a insert David Falk agent here to come in and save the day.
100% right.
Jerry Maguire.
Listen, Braylon, you're 1,000% right about that. If you could be 2,000% right about that, I'd say you were 2,000% right about that. But that doesn't mean that's the right thing he should do.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right.
What you just said was so spot on, but it doesn't mean it's the right. Just because you're banging your head against a wall doesn't mean you have to continue to bang your head against the wall. I mean, all you have to do is say, look, I'm exhausted by all this. I just want to play football. I just want to play football. I want to get in the meeting rooms. I want to get on the field, and I want to work towards winning a Super Bowl. And for those reasons, I am signing or hiring an agent to handle all my business affairs, because I just want to be a football player.
And the other thing it does, Ryan, here's the thing. Let's just get outside the realm. Let's just talk about what it hurts. Let's talk about that. So I don't know where Lamar Jackson's going. Hell, I think he's going to Atlanta. We don't know. But the other thing that hurts, what the agent allows you to do? When you're in the NFL, you usually have a financial advisor, you have an agent, you got an accountant manager, you probably have an attorney. These people allow you, what they allow you to do? To play your job, to do your job, to do what you have to do. That means workouts without being bothered. That means travel so you can rest a little bit. That means workouts once again, because you're going to have to work all the time. Throwing with your guys, orchestrating a 7-on-7 camp for you and the members of your team. Doing these things, the things that you're supposed to be doing, so that you can get paid, so that you can win games, so that you can get to the NFC Championship or AFC Championship, whatever conference that you're in, eventually the Super Bowl. They help you do that. But when you don't have those guys or those women or those individuals, you know what happens? Now I got to spend all my time on the phone. Now I got to try to talk to Steve Bisciotti, or I got to talk to the GM for the Ravens, or I have to talk to my mom, or I have to talk to Nike and tell them what's going on, or I have to talk to Gatorade, or I got to talk to Friendly and fans and all this. That gets tiring. Now you know what I don't feel like doing? I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like going to travel. I don't want to go throw. I don't want to get better because now I'm frustrated. Now my mental is gone. Gotta hire people to make your life easier, if anything.
1,000%. Beautifully said, Braylon Edwards. I want to get back to the Lions next. Dan Campbell talked about what he's excited about most this season, and he did talk about Jalen Carter.
Ooh.
All of those sound bites and reaction next. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company.
Oh, it's today.
Tonight,
Today is the night.
I am elevating my dinner. Fairway Packing Dinner we are going to have, and you can have one as well. Looking for a way to elevate your dinner? Choose Fairway Packing Company, family owned and operated since 1956. You can try the Burrata Blend Burgers, the award-winning Chop House steaks, or impress your friends with a dry-aged Wagyu Tomahawk steak. See why the top chefs in the country choose Fairway. You can visit their steak shop, one of my favorite places, gorgeous place, in Grosse Pointe Woods on Mack Avenue, or you can order online. They ship anywhere. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
It's on all our guys back. Look, we got a lot of faith in Alex. That's why we want him back, man. He's a quarterback of our defense, all right? You got Barnes, who's got another year under his belt. You got Rodriguez, who's got another year under his belt. You got Hutch, who's got another year under his belt. You got Lynn McNeil's got another year under his belt, right? We're getting Charles back. We're getting Romeo back. You know, you got Akuda's got another year under his belt. Jerry Jacobs got another year under his belt. We're getting Tracy back. Kirby's getting another year under his belt. All right, we bring in Sutton. We bring in CJ. All right, Mosley, man, hopefully he's going to be ready for the season to start, game 1. Well, all of a sudden, man, if you don't do anything else defensively, we're going to be better. And we're already working on scheme right now, man. AG's back there cooking up all kinds of stuff because you have the flexibility to do some things now because of what we've done in the back end. So that alone, we're going to be better, and we haven't even hit the draft yet.
One name that
Gets me fired up, Justin. I love it. Thank you.
DetroitLions.com. Dan Campbell talking about signing all those guys this
Run it back.
offseason. Run it back, baby.
How do you not love this guy?
I don't know one
It's
person that
impossible
doesn't.
to not love this guy.
You know why you love him is because they're 8-2 to finish the season, and you want to inherently like him. I mean, the way he talks, the way he feels, so Detroit-centric, so player-centric. He's all about giving the praise to his players and his coaching staff. You want to root for guys like that.
Yeah, you definitely want to root for guys like that, and I love the energy. You know, he's definitely off some of those espressos and pikes, but I love the energy. I love what they've done. They built the team through Detroit. They're doing it the right way. They got a good foundation, a good base. Players want to play here. Everybody's invested their ball in it. I just hope that this does not become like the concept and the ideology forever. Like, just keep bringing your guys back. It doesn't always work. I like it now. Like, I like it now. You're building now, and people can see how you built the thing, and then you do want people to be left over from the beginning. Like, you want it to keep staggering so that you always keep the same integrity in place. I get that. But don't just think you always got to run it back with the guys that you bring in. Like, it's okay to let a couple of those guys go from time to time.
And that's one of the things, though, too.
Not now.
They believe in their own ability to acquire players, whether through free agency, trade, or draft. I mean, Alex Anzalone was the guy that this organization brought over. Isaiah Buggs was the guy that these guys brought in. John Kaminsky, these guys brought in. So they are very confident, it looks like, in their ability to evaluate players as well.
The one thing I will say, they definitely evaluate players well. But you know what it seems like they do well, Ryan, and I might have to push back on my last comment, is a lot of times in the NFL, you don't have coaches like at this level in the NFL. Like when you get to the NFL, coaches aren't teaching you the basics. Like coaches aren't breaking down like the basics, which is the basic techniques, the basic fundamentals, the basic 1, 2, 3s of catching the pass or getting to the sideline and how you work the feet on the sideline, making sure you get the ball first and then get your feet in bounds, catching over your shoulder, making sure you put your body in between yourself and the DB. They're not working on that type of film. Like when you get to the league, what do we draft you for 12th overall? What do we draft you for 2nd overall? We shouldn't have to teach you the basics. But see, they're former players as well, and they know that it doesn't go like that. You still got to work on the fundamentals. And I think what they're doing, Ryan, to your point, you made me realize it, they trust their ability to cultivate talent. Mm-hmm. So I see the players that have fit the system we run. Boom, I like this guy. Look, hey, you know what we could do if we show him. So I think they believe in their ability to cultivate the talent and bring them in. So they're like, hey, this guy might be an 82. We can get him to an 88. And so we don't have to go out and pay all this. We'll just make him an 88. So I think that's what they believe in.
Do they believe in Jalen Carter? They're going to bring him in for a pre-draft visit. Here's Dan Campbell talking about Jalen Carter.
Yeah, no, I think honesty helps. You know, I think you want to know. I think ultimately you want to know. It's one thing, like, for example, you know, does a player give all that he has on the tape? You know, is there a player? He's not a lazy player. All right. Now, there are plenty of times you'll turn the tape on and the guy's not going snap to whistle, but it does not deal with laziness. They haven't been coached to do it. They haven't had a coach that's been on them, or they just don't know. They're just unaware, and you get away with some things that ordinarily you wouldn't, and that's really, they just don't know. And so I think that's what you're trying to figure out, and you go through the character when you start talking about, the position coach, you start talking to the head coach, you start talking to the resources at the school, and then you begin to develop, hey, man, this is what this guy's really like. Like you talk about Carter, I mean, we talked to a teammate of his the other day, and man, he told us some things we didn't know, that nobody probably would have known. It was like, oh, it's interesting. It's pretty good. So it's interesting. You know?
Yeah, is that good or bad? Interesting. One of the things about that, and I think if there's one thing that this regime, I love saying that, the regime.
It is a fun word to say.
It is a fun. If there's one thing this regime has consistently acquired, it's players who love football. Do they love coming to the building?
Yeah.
Do they love working out? Do they love studying? Do they love being football players? And I don't know Jalen Carter. I don't know that answer is a yes, and I don't know that answer is a no. I just simply don't know. But I think that is all these off-field situations, all the quote-unquote red flags, whatever the case may be with that. I think if there's one question Jalen Carter can answer, he will be a Detroit Lion, and that is simply, do you love playing football, or do you just do it because you're good at it? I think there's a big difference there.
I think there are some institutions you go to because you love the ability to be in the spotlight, you love the ability maybe to challenge for a national championship, and you love the ability to, hell, in this day and age, make money, NIL, get drafted, all that stuff. But I think it's some institutions you go to because you love playing football. I think it's some institutions you go to because it means playing football. And I think going to Georgia to play for Kirby Smart, going to Alabama to play for Nick Saban, going to these places, going to Ohio State to play for Woody back in the day, or going to Michigan to play for Bo, or going to Michigan now to play for Jim. You love football, and I think Jalen Carter, loves football. I just think he made some bad decisions in the span of October to January, and I think those things are going to hurt him in the interim period. But what type of player, what type of person he wants to be, and what type of coach in front office takes the chance on this young individual to get him to where he wants to be or where he can be. It's up to him to keep this thing going. Be honest, be transparent, tell him how you feel, tell him what it was, tell him what you're thinking, tell him you still think about it. Just be honest. Be honest. Dan Campbell's one of those guys you can be honest with, and I wish for the better part of Jalen Carter that his choice and his chance is the Lions, because Dan Campbell is a guy that I think can get through to Jalen Carter. Dan Campbell and his franchise, how they're building it, it's a success story in the making. Like, I see it already, so I really hope it's Detroit Lions for Jalen Carter.
Listening to Dan Campbell and watching him, it just doesn't seem to me that Jalen Carter is his guy. And I know you got to play poker. I just don't think Dan Campbell would be a good poker player. Brad Holmes can play poker.
Yeah.
I don't think Dan Campbell could play poker. I think when he loves a player and when he's ready to go through a wall for a player. That, to me, doesn't sound like Jalen Carter is going to be a Lion.
It's very reminiscent of Kayvon Thibodeau last year, maybe. Reminiscent.
Maybe even more.
Yeah.
Maybe even more.
We could see the energy when he was talking about Kayvon Thibodeau. We could tell that Kayvon Thibodeau wasn't going to be the pick for the Detroit Lions. We could just see the energy.
Not talking bad, but he's not.
He's
not my guy. It's not my guy.
Right.
You don't feel it. You don't feel
just tell.
You don't feel anything. And Dan Campbell's not a guy that you don't feel anything from when he's talking about something that he's enthused about.
You know it.
He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's right here with you. So I would have to agree on Maz. I think the Lions are out unless he's been hanging around Brad Holmes too long and his poker face got good.
I don't think so.
But we all know players, and Braylon, you know more than I do, but I know a player, and I'm not going to say his name. He was really good at football. He was better than everybody else for so many years, and then he got to the NFL and he wasn't better than everybody anymore. He didn't put the work in. Yeah. His talent caught up to him. The talent around him caught up to him, and he just never put in the work to take care of his body, to do the things that was necessary to do. He didn't love football. He was good at it, but didn't mean he loved football. And he wasn't in the league that long. He wasn't in the league.
But he was a number one pick.
And this is another thing about.
We all know players like that.
Yeah, he was. I know who he's talking about. So, but another thing about this workout round, when I think about it from this standpoint, he's overweight by 9 pounds. He doesn't finish the workout, or he doesn't finish some of the drills in time, et cetera, and we watch it and everybody wants to break it down. Do you know what the objective for an NFL Pro Day, especially if you don't work out at the Combine, is? The objective for an NFL Pro Day, when you're trying to get a player that's 1 to 10 potential, they're trying to break you in half. They are trying to break you down. They're trying to kill you in that workout so that you can practice tired, perform tired, do the drills tired, so that you quit. They tried to. I went through a pro day. I didn't perform at the Combine. I just did a pro day, and they tried to break me up. Luckily, I trained in Denver, so the altitude gave me an advantage. But they tried to kill me, and there was only 2 receivers: myself, Jermaine Gonzalez. Like, we were just Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Yeah. So he was playing receiver, but they try to break you down, man. If you're coming off of what he had went through, probably this situation has him staring at the wall, texting people. If he has a girlfriend, he's probably spending a lot of time with her or a close family. He's probably trying to figure it out, eating out a lot. And then you go work out. Even if he would have been in his right mind, he would have struggled in that workout, because they purposely wanted to break him down and see where he was at with that workout. So they definitely probably went a little harder, and people judge that a little bit more than they should.
Are the Lions leaving Allen Park? We'll have that for you next. But first, a message from Cousins Maine Lobster.
All right, Cousins Maine Lobster. Get to that website right now. Click on that QR code right next to my big mug. It'll take you right to cousinsmainelobster.com, right to their webpage. And, of course, you can click on it and find out where their trucks are today. You can call them up ahead. If you call ahead and order your lunch, because it's one of the best lunches or dinners that you're going to get, you'll even earn points to save money down the line. They got the best lobster in town. They got the best lobster in Maine, except it's right here in Detroit, Michigan, USA. cousinsmainelobster.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Back to what Justin asked, sort of the football character thing. Can you define that?
You should want to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, every year. Said that 2 years ago, of course. But I think we are positioned much better to swing with the big boys this year.
And that's Dan Campbell again, DetroitLions.com. Swinging at the big boys, Tom Mazawey. That is something I think we all are looking at, just looking ahead. I don't think there's too many people that believe that the Lions won't compete, at least for an NFC North championship, and then at best, perhaps even an NFC championship.
What are we used to hearing from our coaches and general managers? You know what? We'll see how it goes. We're going to play this out, and we got the plan, 3-year plan. Guess what? Year 3 is here, guys. And you hear what he's saying. The Lions are players now. They are players. I even saw Colin Cowherd picked them to win the division. Not that that means anything.
Yeah, I know. It's everybody. Yeah,
right.
They're
everyone's darling.
I think he did so with a 10-7 record.
Yeah, he did. He did. He's got Minnesota at 9-8, and then Packers, and then the Bears in the basement. But that doesn't matter. The Lions are the darlings right now of the NFL. We hear it, we see it, and that's the scary part, that everyone is on top of this team now. I kind of liked them when we were just sneaking up on people, but now they're here. The year is here, man. I'm using Dan Campbell language. And I still think they're a backup quarterback need. I still think they need a wide receiver. And obviously, you need a little help on the defensive line. Just a little help. I think they're closer than a lot of people think. And this draft is going to be fantastic. It's only, 3 weeks away? 3+ weeks away?
Yeah, April 20?
Isn't that cool?
April 27th through 29th, so a month from today.
Yeah.
That is incredible. You know, you talk about playing with the big boys. You got to get it right in the NFL draft. Whether it's second, third round, fourth round, fifth round, you got to get the first round right, man. Look at these last 10 first-round picks by the Detroit Lions. And, of course, the last 3 years, the last 3 picks, the last 2 years, Aiden Hutchinson, Jamison Williams, Penei Sewell, we think we like that. But Jeff Okudah, you know what? Actually, for the number 3 pick, no. It was a bad pick.
It was.
T.J. Hawkinson, not good. Ragnow, working out. Jared Davis, no longer with the team. Taylor Decker, Laken Tomlinson, and Eric Ebron. When it comes to high-round picks, that's not very good. And I think, actually, Taylor Decker, that was in the late teens, actually. I mean, some of these guys, Jeff Okudah 3, Hawkinson 8. I don't remember where Ragnow was. Was he 10? Ragnow was 10. Jared Davis.
5.
Ebron
was 5.
Was he 5 or 6? Something like
5
that.
Or 6, yeah. Penei Sewell 7.
Unbelievable.
Look at the 2 tight ends, one on top of each other there. Please, no more.
Well, that would be 2024. If you go 2014, 2019, and then 2024.
Brock Bowers is 2023 or 2024?
Next year.
All right.
2024.
Okay.
You know, what's funny is in 2017 is when I first started doing radio. I started doing radio in 2017 and started doing TV as well. Not I started, but I was doing it. As I say, you know what, I'm in the city. I'm going to start supporting the Lions. I'm excited. I think 17 is also the year that Stafford got paid. I think
might be.
I think 2017.
After 2016
It was. Yeah, 2017 he got paid, became the highest for 4 days, 5 days, and Matt Ryan, etc. So I called myself trying to be a Lions fan then. Got excited. I was working with a radio station, and we were doing the draft. So we did the whole first round, did the Lions pick. And when they drafted Gerard Davis instead of Dalvin Cook, I was right back off the Lions. I was right back off the Lions. I was good. I was okay.
Just for clarification, Ebron with the 10th pick, Laken Tomlinson the 28th pick, Taylor Decker the 16th pick, Gerard Davis 21, Frank Ragnow 20th pick, and then Hawkinson 8, Okudah 3, Penei Sewell 7, Hutchinson 2, and Jameson Williams 12. There's if you look on Twitter lately, Jameson Williams is getting a lot of love. He's out there at the Coney Island on 6 Mile buying everybody Conies and stuff like this.
6 Mile, you gotta watch
out. He's out there getting all kinds of love, and I just
6 Mile.
Yeah.
He gonna have to call somebody. He needs he needs those security guards that Jared Goff had.
But I am curious. He is the most important player to me on the Detroit Lions this year outside of Jared Goff. Dynamically, what he gives you, if he is that guy we all expect, this is a game changer. This is your Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs. Amon-Ra is great, and we love Amon-Ra, and he's a Pro Bowler. But Jameson Williams, we believe, could be an all-pro type game-changing player. He is everything to me, and I'm 50-50 on it because I haven't seen it yet. It's going to take me to see it to believe it.
No, he's not. Jared Goff's not one. He's number one. He is number one in terms of what the potential is. The reason why they would move up 20 picks is if he's worth that, then he's number one. If he can do what Stephon Diggs does for Buffalo, what Stephon Diggs for Minnesota Vikings, what Tyreek Hill did for the Kansas City Chiefs, what you watched Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle do for the Miami Dolphins last year, he is the same version of that. He is the new wide receiver 1 in the NFL. He can run all the routes. He's explosive. They allow a lot more, space for the wide receiver to do his thing and get jiggy, and he's fast as ever. He is going to be refreshed. Most people, when they come off ACL injuries, they're better, they're more explosive, and they're more athletic that next year. That's been the case with a bunch of people that I've talked to as well as myself. Once I finally got back into the rhythm, I could jump higher, I was more explosive, I was faster, because it still happens when you're younger. This injury happened for him. He's 19 years old, about to be 20. He's now 20, he's 21 now. Like, he's a young man. He's not even in the prime of his life yet. So he's going to be explosive. And if he's going to be those things, it is going to be fun and special to watch. I tell you like this, Jared Goff, I hope you are doing push-ups. I hope you are doing chin-ups. I hope you're doing everything you can to get the shoulders right, get the shoulder flexion going, get a little stronger. Because you throw the ball out there, as soon as you say go, I guarantee you it's going to be somebody on the other end of that catching for touchdowns, man. And it's going to be special to watch. All those highlights. Now just think about Detroit Lions fans. You don't, when the draft happens in fantasy football, you don't have to go get Justin Jefferson, who gave you 1,800 yards last year. You don't have to go get Tyreek Hill, who gave you 1,800 yards last year. You don't have to go. You just go get Jameson Williams. He's down the street.
I can't wait. I mean, we always root for summer vacation to come. Freak, Easter's not even here yet. I cannot wait to play freaking football in September. I hate rooting a months away. Hell, every day is precious to me at this point in my life. But I cannot wait. I wish football was ready to go again. I mean, I'm ready to go.
The Detroit Lions, the way they're building this team does feel like the 04 Pistons a little bit. Where is the superstar in here? Jameson Williams is a superstar, or has the potential to be that superstar. And outside of Jameson Williams, I'm not sure. There's a lot of very good players on this roster. Maybe Kirby Joseph is a player that can really become elite. Potentially. And there's probably others. I don't want to short sell them and put ceilings on these guys.
This isn't you shortchanging them. You're not short selling them. You're just talking about a player that 2 years ago in the national championship game, on the opposite side of him, that featured Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Lewis Singh, Keely Ringo, who's in this year's draft, featured all of these monsters. Trayvon Walker, number one safety, number one player off the board last year, had all these players in it, right? They were winning the game because of Jameson Williams on that field with all those players. That's why you're not underselling him. He has already shown he's a superstar.
If you look at the ceiling for the players on the team with the Detroit Lions, it does appear that Jameson Williams has the biggest ceiling of any player on this team. Does it not?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't he the first one that jumps off the page at you when it comes to this? If you look at the Lions roster, what guy can be a top 5? C.J. Gardner-Johnson. There you go.
Yep.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson is a very special
Kirby
elite
Joseph.
player. Yeah.
I believe
No,
it.
I know. I'm agreeing with you. I'm
just throwing him out there.
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
I still believe his ceiling is high. I mean, I think he overachieved last year, if you ask me. I think he did a great job. He developed.
Aiden Hutchinson is only going to get better as that defensive line, and he gets a little help.
He's already got
James
line. Houston, and you got to hope that Pascal's good, and you're going to draft somebody.
I'm talking about top 5.
Yeah, those guys
could Aiden Hutchinson be a top 5 defensive end in this league?
I hope so.
Yeah.
But what I love about the conversation is you've already answered your question. Like in the span of that second, you answered yourself.
It's Jamison Williams.
Because you just said, I hope so. James saying about hope, we already know so. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I would say those players had the potential to be really good. Like Aiden Hutchinson, you saw last year. I mean, he's the only defensive end to have 3 interceptions in the season. No, that's not rookie. That's all time. Mm-hmm. So he's already doing some things that you're like, hell yeah, this is exactly what I wanted out of him. So you got Kirby Joseph. I mean, he's showing you that dog. He's showing you he didn't care about Aaron Rodgers. He's making some plays when you called his name. So he's showing you he's going to have the potential to explode as well. Jamison Williams has that potential to be special.
Well, not only that, but what he does for your offense.
Yeah.
I mean, he stretches the field unlike anything we've seen here in Detroit in an awful long time. He gets down the field. You're going to have to defend that. It's going to open up some areas. You're going to have some soft pockets for Amon-Ra to come underneath and be that possession slot guy that he is.
His first 2 touchdowns, he was behind the secondary, waiting.
And
that's why I said Goff needs to do push-ups.
Yeah, Goff needs to do some curls and some push-ups, man, because the guy can run. But the good thing about it, too, Ryan, you just hit the nail on the head. That opens it up for Amon-Ra St. Brown either on the backside. It opens up for him in a slot. It opens up for the tight end, whichever one of 4 that we're going to put in the game and throw the ball to. Because as soon as he takes off, schemes are going to be 2. They're going to be 2 high safety on him. They're going to be jump coverage, so they'll put a man on him playing press that wants him to go outside. And then you have a safety that cheats over. So once you have him flying up the sideline, the DB follows him. The safety now follows him. Look at all this open area over here. This is room for the tight end Brock Wright to work, Zylstra to work. This is room for Amon-Ra St. Brown to work those intermediate routes. So he's not only going to help himself, he's like you said, he's going to open it up for everybody else. And oh, by the way, we do have a run game too.
Hey, Kyle Meinke put this out on Twitter as well. Are the Lions looking to move from Allen Park? I found this interesting. Lions are considering moving out of Allen Park training facility that has been their headquarters since 2002. That is according to Rod Wood. I'm not sure where they'd go.
They want to do something in Detroit. They want to have 15,000 people, fans, come to their practices. Last year, they didn't get a lot of crowds, and they're blaming it on how to get to Allen Park, access and parking. I mean,
there is nowhere to park.
There's nowhere to park.
Yeah. No, unless you have a badge or unless you're a guest.
They're only getting a few thousand people at the max. They want to make it big, and they're out of there, man.
And
they are out of there.
And when you look at the facilities that some of these places are putting
Look at
on,
the
the Cowboys one.
Holy
go YouTube the drone footage of the Cowboys complex.
Yeah, we watched it last year before I opened.
You will never see anything like it.
They have a high school stadium as their high schools play in that little dome.
But you're absolutely right. But here's the other side of things. Detroit, yes, as much as we love our city, as much as our city is coming back, as much as our city got delayed and derailed by COVID, where the hell are you gonna put it downtown? Like in a nice space?
Put it in the district Detroit that hasn't been built up.
Well, listen,
where they're gonna park?
Here you go.
There's lots.
I mean,
all the villages, all of them all.
It costs.
The city of Detroit. If you take San Francisco, Manhattan, and Boston,
I know this,
and grab those 3 cities,
they fit inside.
They fit inside the city limits of Detroit. There is land. You have the ability to rebuild a completely different area of Detroit if you can do that.
Right, I understand that, but you're gonna put this amazing, like you see the Dallas facility. They have nothing. See, they have a different type of land. In Texas, it's open land.
Job,
it's in the middle of nowhere. Good job by you, Fletch. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's open land. It looks great. You throw up a $238 million plex, and it looks amazing. Detroit has a lot of land, but it also is connected to a lot of bad places as well and a lot of bad spots as well. So where is that spot that you can build it where it just looks elite and is not in the middle of some place that does not look elite?
I believe you can put it down where the stadium is, except towards the Gratiot area.
Towards Gratiot area
Yeah,
somewhere.
towards the Gratiot area.
Potentially. Well, it's going to cost money. It's going to cost money.
They got money.
Yeah, they do have it.
They're not going to wring out the taxpayers of Detroit. I'll tell you that for sure.
They just trying to make sure I don't get my players robbed. That's all I'm saying. I ain't trying to have to be players.
You don't even want Jameson at the 6 Mile Cody.
Right.
I'm going to talk to him, too. Get your ass off 6 Mile. It's all fun and good.
Hey, guys, the NFL has made some rule changes to the NFL. One of those involving the number 0, and there is a very popular player. One of the game's best players is changing his number to number 0. We'll let you know who that is. But first, a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
Yes, sir. Hey, there's land by the Foaling Warehouse, too, down in Hamtramck. Come on, the Lions. Get on down there. 2 ways to play this game. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. You can have 10 or 12 people on a lane.
They can
run
play
you
$120
$120 for 2 hours. Plus, if you're thirsty, they got multiple full bars in there, so you can have any drink you want and over 100 beers on the menu. Plus, the $2 mystery beer machine. Get your Foal on at FoalingWarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
You're about to be shell-shocked. The catch of the day is in. Big Boy Seafood Fest is officially back. Join us for some of your favorites like our popcorn shrimp and pike perch platters and our classic fish and chips. This year, we've reeled in some fresh catches like our shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir fry, and our fish sandwich. And especially, don't forget about our all-you-can-eat Friday night fish fry buffet. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Planet Fitness is home to the judgment-free zone.
No judgment.
Where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. The gym that has always been known for being clean is now cleaner than ever, with tons of equipment, a full-body workout in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. But the best part about all this, you get it all just for $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, you guys, only $10 a month. Join Planet Fitness in club today, or as always, check them out online at planetfitness.com.
Hey, welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program. If you're listening audio only, maybe Apple Podcasts or Google Play, or if you would like to, you can go to those places anywhere you listen to podcasts. Subscribe to the Ermanni and Edwards with Maz program. Give us a 5-star review. We'd like that too. If you're watching on YouTube, nearly 700 of you watching live on YouTube right now, go ahead and give us a like. Hit that like button.
Can they give us a clown emoji?
Or give us a clown emoji
just
if you'd
hop
like.
on there.
Yeah. Give us a clown emoji. No doubt about that. Hey guys, rule changes in the NFL.
Boy, they blow these things.
Okay, so here's some of the rules, and this is by the Philadelphia Eagles. This rule. Let me see here, Braylon. Here you go, buddy.
I knew something happened to mine. We have everything but the rules.
Amends Rule 5, Section 1, Article 2.
Article 2.
It permits the use of 0 as a jersey numeral to allow kickers and punters to use any jersey numeral between 0 and 49 and 90 and 99. That means the number 0 is in play. Calvin Ridley is the first player to choose number 0. He will wear it for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but Braylon.
Oh, I like how he did that too.
Micah Parsons is changing his number.
Oh, that looks sick.
From 11 to 0. I hate this.
That looks sick. 1 times 1 is 0. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, man.
It looks dope, though. I mean,
it looks good.
You asked me this question when you first heard about it. Well, let's start here. You asked me, why would someone go to 0? Why would someone go to 0 or 1? And the bigger question is, why would you change the number? I think the 0 piece is something different. Yeah, I think it's no one has it. It's something different. You want to be different. Like when you think about the first players wearing 0, Micah Parsons and Calvin Ridley. Micah Parsons, we've already talked about, is on pace to have a Lawrence Taylor-esque. Notice I said esque, esque type of career. When you look at 0, and he's the first person to really hone in. Like when you see certain numbers, they remind you of certain people. Like when you see certain numbers, you're like, oh, 80, that's Jerry Rice. Like, yeah, I don't want to hear anything else. I see 80, it's Jerry Rice. So I think for him, and Deion's 21, Barry's 20, and I think for him, 0 can be that number. I think it's dope. So it's amazing, but at the end of the day, I know what the other side of things. When you buy that jersey, as a fan,
I hate it.
You're buying 11, and now he changes it. But does it really matter if he changes it? I mean, it's still Micah Parsons. He still plays for that team.
No, that says you're old and can't afford a new jersey.
Or it says you were there at the beginning. Like, it means you're loyal.
No, that means you're getting made fun of because you can't afford a new jersey. You got the old one.
Ooh,
that's just you know how snobby Michigan people are.
That's kids, period.
You know how snobby Michigan fans are. I'm going to talk about my own people for a minute.
Okay, hey, be careful. We just got them in.
I'm going to talk about my own people for a minute. Man, if you wear any Michigan gear that is not the Jordan brand, you are looked at a different kind of way. If you are looked at with the Adidas, if you wear an old Adidas Michigan sweater in the Rich Rodriguez era, you are less than.
That's true. That is true.
And when you change your number like that, you will be looked at as less than.
I'm not judging.
I disagree with that, but that's funny you said that. I was at the Big Ten championship game this year with Michigan and Iowa, and I was sitting. I sent you the picture where I was sitting. I'm chilling, and there's a photographer from Michigan. I've known him since I think Jim first started. I think Isaiah Hall, I think is his name. He was asking me questions before the game, and I had on one of my Michigan hats, but this was a new era one. This one didn't have the Jordan logo, it was just a new era. He was like, "What's up with the new era hat? Why you don't have the Jordan brand?" I was like, "I didn't bring that one." He was like, "But like, why the new era?" Like he kept he couldn't figure it out. He couldn't figure out why I didn't have another Jordan. But I finally said, "Yo, this is my hat I have. Leave me alone." All right, I guess you're not lying about that. If you see anything other than Jordan, it's like, "Oh, God bless his heart." It's like, "Oh, God bless his heart." Is something wrong? Jeez Louise,
man, that's your guy.
Listen to me for a minute. First of all, change it to Agent 0. All right, it's going to be a fad.
That's cool.
I'd rather him keep 11. Well, when Lawrence Taylor started, the first preseason games, he was wearing 98. By the time the game started, he had 56 on. And you kept 56 through his whole career. 56 is LT. There's only one LT. I'm sorry about Tomlinson. But as far as Micah goes, he should keep 11. But now go to 0. If I got a number 11 Micah jersey, I'm still going to proudly wear it because I can't afford to buy another 0 jersey.
You know what
I'll wear jerseys with bad numbers on.
You can put the blue tape
on
the top and bottom.
Oh, that's terrible.
You put the blue tape on the top and bottom.
I think it's creative.
That's how you do it.
That's horrible.
That's how you do it.
I think it's creative.
No, thank you. Hey, Calvin Ridley's going to wear 0 as well.
Yeah, we mentioned that. I think you were too busy with face buried in the chat.
I was talking to the guys.
Calvin really, because he did a good thing by how he had his hands over the 0, so you think it's 3, but then you remove it and you find out it's 0.
Cool.
It's good for him. I think it's a rebirth. You see it. I appreciate Fletch, you've been on it, man. You see it has it right now. You can't tell it's a 0. It looks like he's holding his hands on a 3, and when he takes his hands off, it's the rebirth. Obviously, he had the incident where he bet on his team last year in sports betting, got suspended the rest of the year, and this is his first year back. So for him, it is a rebirth and a new shot. So I understand it, Calvin. Really, we at Woodward Sports Network, we wish you the best.
Hey, one of the things about the NFL rule changes, too, is they're going to allow for teams to play 2 Thursday night games. They're not going to allow the flex situation yet.
They hate it. The owners hated that.
They cannot flex till Thursday, but they're going to play 2 Thursday or be allowed to play 2 Thursday night games for now. The limit previously was 1. Our good friend Ari Meirov with that tweet. I hate this because your league is like I almost hate that I love the NFL so much.
Right.
Because they're such crooks. They're such crooks. Roger Goodell and all these owners, I mean, You talk about player safety all you want, and you're telling me you're going to not make them play one Thursday game, but you're going to allow them to play 2 Thursday games. So you potentially could have twice a season, 2 games in 5 days. But you are for player safety. Just don't lie to me anymore. Don't tell me that.
They could be for player safety. They're talking about taking care of their head, their helmet, taking players out once they get their bell rung. They're out for the game.
Having 2 car wrecks in a 5-day period.
I understand, but they have stepped up. They have stepped up big time when it comes to the head injuries. Because if you get your bell rung, more than likely we're not going to see you in that game anymore. Playing on Thursdays, hey, man, just get used to it. That's what it's going to be. Maybe you play on Thursday and you get the next week off. Maybe they got to work it out, the schedule that way. But Thursdays are here to stay.
Last year we watched Tua get dropped and come back into the game the second time he had a concussion. So, no,
not the second time.
They're not fully into player safety. At the end of the day, what they do is they make you think they're into player safety. They throw a couple stats out there. They show you some soft helmet designs that they do in training camp where they're not begging in training camp and make you believe, oh, yeah, they took that movie Concussion serious. They're still not taking it serious at the end of the day. Like they just showed you right after the DeMar Hamlin thing how they lowered the money per month in your 401k. How it went down from $4,500 to $3,000 for former players. So they don't care at the end of the day. It's all about making money, but they will on the surface make you seem like they care.
I think the only other rule change that really matters, or at least that you may notice next year, is this was by the Houston Texans. They are going to expand replay officials' jurisdiction to allow for reviews on a failed 4th down attempt. So that can be from above.
What does that mean?
Well, if you're out of if your team is out of challenges, it could come from above.
But only on a 4th down?
Only on a 4th down.
They do that now, though, don't they?
I don't know if that can come from above or under 2 minutes, maybe.
I wish they would have added in that you could review anything.
I know.
And the Lions, what they put out there, which I loved, is add an extra challenge.
But they withdrew those.
I know.
Why did they withdraw
Maybe
them?
They told them, withdraw it this year and put it in next year.
Well, it's dumb.
Who the hell knows?
Yeah, it's all dumb.
It's all politics.
Or they told them that ain't never happened.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, we'll go around the NFL news and notes. Next plus is LeBron James' son going to go to the University of Michigan.
Hey.
All that and more. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. That's right. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC, same great service that customers have come to know. You can go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And of course, looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, standing strong for over 55 years. Check out the brand you want under one umbrella, LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
And find new roads.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
At Alta,
Uptime
matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, give Alta Rental a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO, the number 2, Alta.
WoodwardSports.com, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. I saw 3 days in the 7-day forecast in the 60s.
When is this?
I don't remember when. I know Monday and Tuesday.
Is it supposed to snow Saturday?
Going to be in the 60s. Snow on Saturday, I believe. But we do have 3 days
it snowed a
over
little
the
bit
next
today.
7 in the 60s. I know Derek Kevra called for a very early opening day forecast He believes it's going to be in the low 50s and no rain.
I'll take it.
So that's his early prediction for opening day weather. We'll talk some Tigers baseball in just a little bit.
Opening day tomorrow.
Opening day tomorrow. That's right. We'll go around the NFL with some interesting news and notes. Tom Mazawey.
All right. Hey, guys, remember how they used to have these separate cuts after in preseason? First you'd cut 10 players, then you cut another 5, then you'd have the big cut. Now it's going to wait till after the preseason games are over, and there will be 1,000 players released on the same day.
That's interesting. I don't like that. I think it gives players less of an opportunity to latch on somewhere else.
Yeah, no, 100%. The interesting thing about this is you make it hard for, well, one, it goes through training camp. It starts here. It's a good thing in training camp because now you have guys that fit the schedule for all of training camp. So you got guys on the second team, the third team. You got guys that you're analyzing, evaluating. You get longer to evaluate some guys. Then you got more bodies out there. So the guys that are 1s and 2s, they're not like once you get lower into cuts, guys have to play more. So that works. But it's gonna be a mad dash, man. Once they get rid of everybody at that moment, everybody's gonna be trying to make that dash. So it's gonna be interesting. How good is your scouting department? How good has your scouting department been at looking at all the other games, keeping track of all the other players that you may have wanted to sign, but you want to see how they did on other teams in training camp? So
this is where the Lions are going to find their backup quarterback when these players are loose, because there are going to be some veteran quarterbacks. It's on this list.
First come, first serve, man. Yep. Like, who's watching the board and how these players are falling off? Like, this is.
How do they pick, by the way? Is it from last year's record?
In terms of what?
Waiver wire.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm hairy on.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's from last year's.
Like the 1 to 32, and you go by that. If 32, you get the first crack. 31 gets the second.
So the Lions will be in the middle.
Yeah, so you get like that's actually, that is actually how I go.
Yeah, the Lions will be probably at pick 18, where they're picking in the first round.
Yeah.
Of course, pick 6 belongs to the Rams. Here's something for you guys. I've had this up for a few days. I'm going to play it out for you. These are the remaining free agents, and the 33rd team put this out. They feel that these 7 potential free agents are still can be bargains. I'll go over them for you.
Okay.
Atlanta linebacker Rashaan Evans, former number 1 pick. Baltimore edge rusher Justin Houston. I know you like him.
Yes.
Jacksonville wide receiver Marvin Jones. This guy I like. Kansas City running back Jerick McKinnon.
Wasn't he a Lion at one point?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Nah, he was somebody.
Denver guard Dalton Risner.
49ers, I think. He was 49er.
Former Charger, former Lion, Kyle Van Noy, and Las Vegas cornerback Rocky Ya-Sin, who is still out there as well. So it's 7 guys that the 33rd team thinks can be a bargain for somebody to sign. Who you like there, Bray?
Definitely guys at a bargain. Justin Houston was a guy that I talked about last year. We talked about him getting that sack for that $500,000 bonus. Once again, he's like that Calais Campbell I talked about. You bringing in a guy off the rush. You know, he's got over 100 career sacks. You're talking about being a leader. He was another guy that left that Baltimore Ravens team, so he would kind of fit the same role as Calais Campbell in terms of coming here and helping these guys out. McKinnon, I'm good. I feel like every week the Chiefs are in or out on McKinnon. Sometimes they're in, sometimes they're out.
He had a good year.
But he will be a bargain for somebody. Chances not here, but I think he will be a bargain for somebody.
Who the hell am I thinking about? The running back that came over from...
You're thinking of McKissick.
McKissick.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
McKissick.
Yeah.
Marvin Jones is a pro. Like, Marvin Jones is a guy that, 100%. Marvin Jones is a pro, has really good hands. Like, he's always...
I heard he was at the 6 Mile Coney as well. Did you know that?
Not him. Definitely not him. Like, he wasn't at no 6 Mile Coney.
He'd have been at the Bloomfield Hills Coney.
100%.
There you go.
100%.
So basically, do you think the Lions are done with free agents?
Yeah, I think
I do too.
I think we can start to stop playing the game now. When you see somebody released or you see somebody come and say, "Hey, are the Lions going to pick up? Should the Lions pick up?" I think the Detroit Lions are out of the game of should the Lions pick up. I think it's
even though they were in on Calais Campbell.
100%. But Calais is now signed with the Atlanta Falcons. I think it's over for them.
I think they do. If they don't draft a quarterback, I think they do go get an upgraded quarterback.
But yeah.
I think they're planning on drafting a quarterback at some point.
You still need a vet.
And, maybe it's Teddy Bridgewater.
Well,
maybe.
We haven't gotten him. He's still out there.
I mean,
He is out
Teddy was in New Orleans when
Dan Campbell
when Dan was in New Orleans.
And not that
So, I mean, there is
Glenn would have anything to do with it. Be
there
a
is-
defensive guy, but yeah.
Still, there's a connection there. You know,
Yeah.
conversations. You know, it doesn't shoot. Rex brought me to New York, and Rex is a defensive guy.
Yeah, that's
So it's
true.
all about connections,
Yeah.
all about what you've seen and the guy you trust. So
I
tell
haven't
you,
seen him pop up anywhere lately.
Rex.
Yeah.
He was up for like the Denver
And then it
defensive
just-
coordinator,
and then he just
that was
disappeared.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
he's
staying on
never on
TV.
Get Up. I never see him anymore at all.
But you know what is Rex, and this could be me speculating. Rex might just like Rex contract. He might not be the
Football
draft guy.
season.
Football season.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Rex might be the guy that comes on and starts
Probably
July.
gets a couple months
August
off
to get some months off. Starts
I
in
think
August.
you'll see him back for the draft.
Yeah, he might pop up at the draft, but yeah, Drake, well, you doing it for his as long as him. He's not a draft guy. He's like, yeah, when the season starts, I'll talk about the players that are in the league.
Hey, word on the street: the Packers and Jets are closing in on compensation details for Aaron Rodgers. I think the Packers wanted number one. They're not getting it.
As it currently sits, Jets will send a 2023 second-rounder and a 2024 second-rounder that may turn into a first-rounder based on the performance. The holdup is that the Jets want the pick back if Aaron Rodgers retires after this year.
Oh.
Seems reasonable. Hey, if you're the Packers, you get rid of Aaron Rodgers.
I still think it's too high for the Jets to give up that much.
Well, yeah, I don't think
because
they
he's
should go
not playing
after
for the Packers. They got the pack. To me, they got the pack where they want him.
Mm-hmm.
You're either going to trade him to us for what we want to give you, or let him walk away, and you know what? We'll sign whoever the hell's left
Right,
over.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, I'll bring back Joe Flacco if I have to. Whatever.
Yeah. This is interesting. I mean, it's going to see how it plays out because you think, you know, the Packers and the back and forth and the back and forth. It's just, what if like the New York Jets just stop? Like if they just stop.
They already signed his whole wish list.
But I'm saying, what if they just stop negotiating with the Packers and they just wait for the Packers to release Aaron Rodgers?
That's what they're going to basically probably wait
like,
for.
just think about that. They just wait for him to release him and they get nothing from him. So you know what? You guys want to play hard?
Cool.
I really feel like I see that coming.
Or if Aaron Rodgers is like, okay, I'll see you in camp. How do you think they'd like that?
Oh, my God.
How do you think they'd like that?
I'm going to tell you how they like it because I'm going to play a sound for you from yesterday's Pat McAfee show. He had audio from Brian Gutekunst, who was the Green Bay general manager. And you're going to hear that they tried to talk to Aaron Rodgers, but he would not call them back. Here's what Brian Gutekunst said.
You know, as we got out of the offseason or after the season, and we had a good conversation, and then, you know, we're going to have some follow-up conversations. And our inability to reach him or for him to respond in any way, I think at that point, then we just kind of I had to do my job and kind of reach out and understanding that a trade could be possible and see who was interested. But that shopping was never really part of that.
So when you gave him that contract extension, you've said publicly your intention was for him to not just play last season, to play beyond that. At what point did it shift to, okay, we need to move on?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously it was a disappointing season, right? And you come out of the season, you have a lot of conversations, not only with Aaron, but with the rest of the team, coaches, and everybody. And as you go through that process, you kind of get an idea of where you're going to move to, you know, as a team, how you're going to go forward. And I think I was really looking forward to the conversations with Aaron to see how he fit into that. Those never transpired. So, you know, there came a time where we kind of had to make some, you know, decisions. So we went through his representatives to try to kind of talk to him where we were going with our team. And at that point, you know, they informed us they would like to be traded to the Jets.
But you just said you.
And thank you, Pat McAfee, on behalf of that video soundbite. This is funny because, you know, it's like sometimes the owners or the front office, sometimes they're not being truthful. Sometimes it's not the player that's being true. This is business. Look, if I'm Brian Gutekunst, I understand what happened. I actually got to side with him on this. Look, we tried to reach out to you. This is crunch time. You have been out of your retreat. You have been out of your darkness retreat. You have been out of the four walls. We're trying to get in touch with you. We're trying to get in touch with the people that you gave us to get in touch with you. They can't get in touch with you. You're spinning us. You're blowing us off. What the hell else am I supposed to do? If you blow your employer off, what is he going to do? Like, you can't just blow your CEO off. You can't keep blowing the COO off that's calling you like, hey, we're trying to get you signed this extension. We're trying to make you a partner under these rules, under these guidelines. Hey, get me back. Hey, hit me back. When you don't hit somebody back, when you are just completely ghosting someone, that's for a reason. It's called ghost protocol. That means it's over, whatever that situation was, whether it was a relationship, whether it was a partnership, whether it was a business relationship. He basically told you, leave me the hell alone.
We saw it. He walked off the field, arm in arm with Cobb.
Randall Cobb.
So what do you expect this man to do? What do you expect him to just sit here and just wait and he knows it's over? This man has an obligation to the fans of Green Bay as well as the team of Green Bay. I got to get us a quarterback. If it ain't going to be you, let me start working. Aaron Rodgers, man, is a piece of work.
Lot to get to next, but first a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience. My girl Becca takes real good care of me here at the 15-mile and Woodward location. Oh, thanks, Becca. Appreciate it. She just walked in the studio. I had to give her a shout-out. You can register for a chance, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win $200,000, a down payment for your dream home. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. You could walk in anytime. Several locations in the Metro Detroit area, several more around the country. Find one near you. Open 7 days a week. It's wicked awesome.
Just can't go to Becca.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Goff, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, welcome back. WoodwardSports.com. You know, on these damn cell phones, okay?
What's your problem?
So I never get emails. Like, I have to open.
BS. What's the problem?
I have to open up
the app
and then it will tell me I've got a new email or I've got new.
So you don't have your notifications on.
I have it on. It says on it. That's what I was doing.
Have you updated your phone?
Yeah. When's the last time you powered off your phone?
I got a brand new phone.
I know. When did you power it off?
Earlier this morning.
Okay.
Oh yeah, got you with that one.
All right.
Earlier this morning.
So you shut it off completely.
I gotta hit the app.
Did you delete the email app and then re-download it?
No.
Okay. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Do that now.
No, well, I'm not doing it now.
No, I mean after we're done.
And by the way, do people still email? I mean, most of the time it's just like bills that get sent to me or whatever. But bills most of the time it's spam. Now the only reason I'm looking for it is because I've got my tax advisor email. I need this. I need this. I need this. I need this. So that's the only reason I'm looking out for these emails.
Tell them to text you
in a timely manner. I don't really look at the email app.
You got me checking these out. I'm looking at my email now for the first time in like a month.
What do you got on there? Like 3,000 emails?
A lot of DoorDash bills. a lot of DoorDash bills.
Are we the laziest people in the world?
A lot of lost bets.
I do DoorDash all the time.
I've never done it once.
A lot of lost bets.
Well, it costs you double. It's so dumb. I mean, it's the dumbest thing that I do. But I feel like it does save me time.
How was Ninjas?
Oh, it's just it brings so much joy to my heart.
That's good.
Little Lukey running around there. He loves ninjas.
That's awesome.
Loves ninjas.
That's awesome.
So yeah, Tuesday night ninjas and McDonald's night.
McDonald's, as Braylon calls it.
Yeah, McDonald's.
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 How was Max's last night, Bray?
It was cool. Oh man, so it was cool. Went over there for a second. You know what I'm saying?
Just quick smoke.
Just
going over for a second always.
Quick adulting situation. But we ended up watching the Jared Fogle
Oh God, no,
Jared,
man.
So I've been telling you, I've been trying to watch something. I've been wanting to watch something. I feel like we've exhausted everything. Everything is the same crime show. Everything is the same type of apocalyptic show of something, zombies. This is
terrible.
Like everything is the same. So I'm like, I want to watch. Been watching a lot of documentaries. Man, we turned the Jared thing on. If those of you don't remember, Jared Fogle is Jared from Subway. Jared Eat Fresh, blah blah blah. I forgot what he exactly went to jail for.
Child pornography, right?
Well, in a sense, intent to act on, if you will.
No.
So he actually never was found of acting on it, but if you listen to those tapes that were recorded by this chick that went undercover for the FBI, as well as the guy he hired, it's a wild story, man. Just people are monsters, bro.
Jared the Subway guy.
Now,
I hate Jared the Subway guy. Do you know why I've always hated Jared the Subway guy?
Because you knew he was up to something.
Well, I always knew he was up to somebody, but there was this is years ago, and I
hesitate. Jealous of him losing all that weight?
No, I hesitate to even bring it up. Go ahead,
bring it up.
But the reason why I hate Jared so much is because there was this group of people that would always tweet to me in the early 2010, 2011, 2012 with split screens.
Oh, Jesus.
Jared the Subway guy and me. And when he got friggin' arrested,
that's tough.
I'm like, oh my God, you got all these idiots out there freaking putting side by side, and I don't play like that, man.
F those guys,
are you ready? What they did for me back in the day?
Crazy thing.
You remember? God forbid.
That's tough, Ryan.
The guy that.
Well, it's a horrible offense too.
I know
it's
what you're
not
about
like.
to say.
No, you're not going to know.
Braylon,
is he from New York?
It was a guy.
Summer Sam?
No, it wasn't Summer Sam.
Braylon, can I just say this, please? Jared's offense is a horrible offense.
Yeah, horrible.
It's not like he got caught with a bunch of drugs and hookers.
No.
I mean, at least I can understand it. But this is horrific.
Yo, the thing that's so horrific about the case.
Oh, come on, Fletch.
That's why I laugh.
Oh, come on, man. What is...
That's tough.
Fletch,
that's tough.
I was just about to compliment you how great I feel like you're doing today.
He dropped the ball.
Fletch.
He didn't drop the ball on that one, but he dropped the ball again. But the thing about it's so crazy about it, don't watch this if you got a sensitive stomach. Don't watch it. He only got 15 years, Ryan. Jared from Subway.
Is he out?
That's 6 years.
Is he out?
He'll be out 6 years.
Oh,
he'll be out 6 because they never were able to prove it. All the things that he said on those recordings and all that was wanting to do.
He should be out now then.
God.
No, it was 2015.
I'm just saying if they couldn't prove anything.
Well,
they had nothing.
Well, they did have one. They had one of the guy that worked for him. I'm giving too much away, but the guy that works for him sent him a text about doing something inappropriate with some minors, and then he said he wanted to be next.
Okay.
So they got that text. And from that text, they were able to at least bring him in and steal all his hard drives, all his stuff. And so they got some child pornography stuff on his on his hard drives and all that stuff. But all that stuff together only went up to 15 years. So this guy who's a monster is going to get out again in 6 years.
I could top that, Ryan. I was separated.
You could top the guy that got arrested for wanting
pedophilia.
I could top it.
Pedophilia.
I was separated at birth from this Time magazine article on the guy that flew the plane into the World Trade Center.
Get out of here.
I swear they used to put it up.
Not Muhammad Atta.
Yeah, Atta.
No.
Yeah, that's what they put next. Maybe back in the day,
I think Jared's worse.
You think?
I think Jared's worse.
Know about that. They're both pretty.
But you're
evil.
talking about a guy that admitted he wanted to have sex with 7 to 8 year olds. Ain't nothing worse than that.
No.
Back to sports.
Damn.
Back to sports.
Damn. Man, you make me sick.
Back to sports.
Mazawey's like Maz out here calling himself Muhammad Atta.
I didn't call myself that. I said there was a magazine article, Time, and they had his picture. And the place I was at, the station, cut the picture out and put my face next to it. That's all I'm saying.
What did you guys talk about there? We talked about who looked more like the worst person.
Exactly. Let's see if we can find one for Braylon.
Braylon
separated at birth. You know who you really look like? With your hat down.
I go to church. Okay?
Listen, with your hat down, I look at you sometimes, and you remind me of exactly LeBron James.
I knew this was coming. That's the only one I ever got. You know why? It's because I had a beard.
And you put your hat down and you look down, and I don't have my glasses on. You're LeBron James.
Oh, there we
You're
go.
a handsome guy. I don't know why you wear all them hats. And you're a handsome guy. I mean, you're one of the most handsome guys I've ever met in my life.
This is a sports show, man.
Seriously.
I be handsome on the weekends.
Damn. Okay.
I be handsome
Very
on the
handsome.
weekends. I appreciate it.
My goodness. All right, Tom.
I'm trying to represent all these sports teams. I got the Lions, I got the Jets, I got Michigan, I got the Red Wings. I'm trying to represent.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Here's one for you guys that like to bet on games. The owners also voted in that, yes, sports books are allowed at their stadium to operate on game days.
Cap. Okay, it's cap. You see this right here? This is something LeBron had never had. It's called real hair.
Yeah, that's
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
It's called real hair. This my hair. This my hair. Go ahead, man.
Maz, I think this is an important story. Go ahead. Say it again.
The owners of the NFL teams have voted to allow sports books to operate at their stadiums on game days.
But they do that now. Like when I went to the Michigan game, they'll never have. When I went to Jets Lions, like we were in the Wynn sports book.
Yeah.
Like we were making bets during. Well, if you had a New York account, you can make. I think this is allowed putting in every stadium. Then
on game days.
I think this is extremely dangerous, and it's not just about the stadium thing, but it's about the just acceptance of gambling. I mean, it is.
Well, let's face it; they are in bed with them.
It is, the fact that these leagues are absolutely in bed with them. Whether it's and look, do what you want. I agree, but not everybody gonna be okay. There's going to be a lot of devastation that these leagues have to be comfortable with, just in terms of the money you're making. The almighty dollar is not
every dollar isn't a good dollar.
The almighty dollar is not everything. I mean, you can make money if you legalize prostitution too. You know what I mean? You can make money if you do that. But is that how you want to make money?
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is extremely dangerous, especially for our young kids who are growing up in a generation of gambling, which they don't even know how to balance a checkbook. They don't even know what a checkbook is. They don't even know what they got coming in or going out. I think the gambling stuff is very, very difficult.
Two things. I think what this means actually is in sports betting, you have to be in a state that has a casino, or they have to be a state. And I think
36 states legalized.
And now I think that what they're trying to say is like they'll make it available to each stadium throughout the year. So where if you go to an NFL venue, you can place a bet even if they don't have a casino. So that's what I think that is.
You don't need it because you have your phone, really.
Well, true, but you can be out of state. I can't make a bet back in Michigan because if I'm out of state or a state that doesn't have gambling. So I can't.
If a state doesn't have gambling.
Yeah, but that's
what. But if I'm in New Jersey, I can still gamble on Michigan.
Yeah, because New Jersey has gambling. But what I'm trying to say is a lot of these states don't have gambling. So I'm like, you can go out and anyway.
Look, I really believe of all the addictions out there. Of all the addictions out there, and I don't want to minimize any addiction.
But isn't it like alcohol? Like, isn't it like being in how other countries, like we're the only country that has make you wait to 21 and everybody becomes an alcoholic by the time they're 21. Whereas like in other countries, Germany, Ireland, even going across the bridge in Canada, you can drink at 15, 16, 19, 17. And for them, it's just becomes a regular thing. Whereas for us, like, you're like, oh shoot, I'm sneaking and drinking. I'm not supposed to.
Gambling
is gambling going to be like that?
Gambling is so glorified in this country specifically. Can you imagine having an addiction for drugs and seeing a bunch of commercials with a lot of laughing faces? Like put a needle in your arm or something like that. Ooh. Or have a table of cocaine and you look so glorious. You got all these women around you. And then be like, oh, yeah. Or just the glorification of gambling. There is no worse addiction, I don't believe, than a gambling addiction. I don't want to minimize any addictions out there, but man, if you have a gambling addiction and you fall off the wagon one night, you'd be feeling that for years to come, and you drag a lot of people in there with you.
Yep.
It's a tough one to have, and for these leagues to just flat out say, "Come on, baby, we don't care what happens to our fans. We don't care. We're gonna put that crack right on in the table in our arena, and you don't even have to get up from your seat." I think it's a really difficult place to be for the sports leagues.
I mean, betting has always been that way. Casinos have always been that way. Look, at the end of the day, they threw the test out last year. It worked. They liked it. They want to make some more money. You just got to be extra. Have like the guys, people ready. So
I'll leave you with this stat. More gamblers die by suicide than alcohol and drugs combined.
Really?
Yes, that is a fact.
Wow.
Think about that. So be careful out there.
By the way, we got to start putting a PG-14 on this show. Yeah. We've gone dark today.
Right. Hey, guys, we'll get back to sports. Bronny James, is he on his way to Michigan? Maybe.
Ooh.
We'll tell you about that next. But first message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Hey, guys, if you join the Pepper Club, you're going to be in good hands. You get the cleanest salons in the D, the great tanning professionals, and they're going to beat all competitors by $5 on unlimited tanning and more. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters. You know it. ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Here we go, WoodwardSports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. Want to recognize Fletch and JB today. These guys have been fantastic. Thank you guys so much for everything that you do to help us improve the show here at WoodwardSports.com.
Just remember, we got Fletch. He knew everything you wanted to know about coffee and tea. Ked was a top-notch barista. He didn't really know sports except baseball. This kid knows his stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so proud of him. That's all I got to say.
There you go. We are all proud of Fletch. Absolutely. Good shout out there, Maz. Bronny James.
He's the greatest player ever, huh?
If Bronny James wasn't Bronny James and he was Mike Smith, would he be as highly touted?
He would be the same type of where he's at because he's in the top 40. I think he's like player 28 or wherever he is. He would be like somewhere between 25 and 40. The kid can play. But he wouldn't be Sierra Kane wouldn't be on TV.
Mm-hmm.
His games wouldn't be featured on TV. You wouldn't see him all his highlights outside of watching his page or LeBron's page. His page, because I guess he wouldn't be LeBron's son. He's a good talent. The boy can play. Like he can ball, but he's not one of these elite All-American McDonald's players that you would have heard about in the past. He's LeBron James' son, but he can play.
Is he going to Michigan next year? Why wouldn't he go to Michigan next year? I mean,
because they're not going to pay him $7.1 million.
But I understand the Ohio State angle, and apparently Bronny James' estimated NIL earnings is $7.2 million.
Yeah. He hasn't played for a college yet.
Will that impact his decision on where he goes?
If you're
LeBron James, LeBron the dad, if you're LeBron James the dad, don't you want your son to go? Of course, you want him to get the money, but you're not going to the person with the most money, right? I mean, you are going to where you are going to develop to be a pro in the fastest, best way possible. And what about his old teammate, Juwan Howard, there in Ann Arbor? I know he doesn't like Michigan, but he loves Juwan Howard.
100%, he does like Juwan Howard. You know, I was actually there in some years in Miami towards the end of my career, hanging out with those guys, and definitely a real relationship with Juwan Howard and LeBron James. It just depends on what Bronny James wants to do and what LeBron wants to do. Because if they're still trying to make this, I'm not retiring until I play with my son. LeBron's averaging 30 points a game this year, so he still has plenty of time. If Bronny's going to do it 1 year, be around my pops, then try to get next to my pops, then Bronny's going to UCLA. Like, UCLA makes sense. It's down the street. They're in L.A. It's in the backyard. Sierra Canyon's down the street from that. You go to UCLA. You do it for 1 year, and then you try to get to the Lakers or wherever the hell LeBron's going to be at in 2 years. But, if it's on Bronny to do his thing, if it's not about what LeBron James wants, like, I see Bronny James, with NIL now, go to college for 3 years. Go to college for 4 years. Don't make it about your pops. Make it about you. I know it's crazy legacy where it's like, I got to play with my dad. Or that's what the moment was built up to be, is playing with my father. But if it's really about you getting the best out of yourself and being the best when you're ready to get to the NBA level, go do 4 years in Ann Arbor.
He ain't going to do 4 years.
Is he doing 1 year in college?
Okay, do 2 years.
Would he do any years in college? Would he go to the G League straight out?
No, he'll do one.
Yeah.
Who's the best coach for him?
He'll do one because his dad didn't do it. His dad wishes he would have been able to go to college. They talk about this all the time. The guys that wish they won. Kevin Garnett says he wish he would have did a year. He would have went to Michigan. LeBron James says he wish he would have did a year. He would have did Ohio State. Like, these are what these players talk about. So I think he definitely wants his son not to have any regrets and have that moment of a college coach being enshrined. Like, it's you love seeing those kids go back to the games, like John Wall and Boogie Cousins, and they go back to the John Calipari UK games and stuff. But I think he does a year. And I mean, Juwan Howard and LeBron's relationship, it could be a good one.
Who's the best coach?
They don't win. It's hard to get your son to come here. You ain't made the tournament last year, though.
Yeah.
Who's the best coach in college basketball that could get him pro ready?
That's a great question. Yeah. Who's the best coach in college basketball
to get him pro ready?
Probably Kansas. Probably Bill Self.
Bill Self.
Because Jay Wright's gone. Not that he would have went to Villanova anyway. Mike Krzyzewski's gone. Maybe Hubert Davis.
Cal?
I would say maybe Hubert Davis at UNC, but then they didn't even make the tournament this year at UNC, so that kind of knocks them out.
I'm trying to think of a school that really puts out pros.
I just named Duke and UNC. Like, they have nothing but pros. I'm trying to think. Like, the coaches are gone now.
Yeah.
Like, the coaches are gone. So I'm like, the main coaches, you got to start looking at the second tier. Maybe, I don't know, it's like smaller programs now.
How about Gonzaga?
Gonzaga ain't it. Like, this LeBron James kid, he ain't going to Gonzaga. Like he's
going Mick Cronin, like
UCLA.
You know, I mean,
yeah, I mean that's what I said. UCLA or Kansas. I put it like that. Kansas was in the tournament again. They won the national championship last year. You know who Bill Self is. And then UCLA is in your own backyard. They went to the Elite Eight this year. Last year they were in the Elite Eight. The year before that, and they're in the Final Four. So I think it's one of those two. Like, if I'm just thinking out loud. Or Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky, even though Calipari has not been good.
I might send him to New York. I might send him to play for Rick Pitino.
But Rick Pitino said we want guys just want to play basketball. Like, Rick Pitino has made it clear. He is not, this ain't about the NIL. This ain't about marketing. This is not about individualism. Mm-hmm. Rick Pitino wants guys that want to play like it's 1970, 1980 all over again. And guess what? That's none of the kids in this day's society.
It just feels like Juwan Howard is the right guy for Bronny James.
That's a good one.
I mean, essentially knew the kid since birth. He was a player. He was a teammate with LeBron in the Heat. He was a coach with LeBron in the Heat. LeBron was loving the fact when Juwan got the job here in Michigan.
And LeBron's never hated Michigan. There's never been hate out of LeBron for Michigan. So who knows, man? But that'd be good.
Yeah,
LeBron and the Chrysler?
Yeah, right.
LeBron and Chrysler Center? It's down the street from Acura. I mean, hey.
I don't see why not. Guys, baseball coming up. Opening day tomorrow. I'll get you some thoughts on that. Tigers, their over-under is 69.5. Over or under, one of the lowest in the league. But that's why they play the games. Let's get you caught up on Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of the house, says one thing to the bad guys:
stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring and technology backed by people. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays, 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Seafood Fest is back and better than ever. Catch it while you can at your local Big Boy. Some favorites during Lent like the shrimp Alfredo and the shrimp stir fry and the new fish sandwich. And you know what Fridays are. It is the all-you-can-eat fish fry buffet. But you got to get to your local Big Boy today.
Don't look now, but Tigers opening day is tomorrow. They begin the season in Tampa. Home opener is next Thursday. Not much expected of the Tigers this year. Tom Mazawey, Braylon Edwards. The over-under is 69.5 for this baseball team, one of the lowest in all of Major League Baseball. Many people believe they will be competing with the Oakland Athletics as the worst team in baseball this
Oakland
year.
will beat them.
I'm not so sure about this. I don't think the Tigers, they can't possibly be as bad as they were last year, can they?
Yeah, they stink.
I think they can. I mean, what's to say they cannot be? Now, is it because of managing? Is it because of coaching? Is it because of the new hitting coaches that we have, and now we expect them to hit better? Is it because Spencer Turnbull was on the mound and he has pitched better so far in spring training? Is it because Scott Harris got up under Javi Baez's ass when he first got here and said, no, that's not going to be acceptable. I know who Javi is as a scorer. So is that the reason why they might be better? I am always of the mind when it comes to Detroit. Until I see it, I don't believe it. And with the Tigers, I understand Scott Harris' message when he first got here. I got to see it first because what they were last year was abysmal. Is Meadows still on the team?
Yeah, he is.
Do you remember that season last year?
Yeah, he's on.
Sheesh.
Austin Meadows is still on, still a favorite of our Ryan Lentz in the back.
Yeah,
he actually has an Austin. He has an Austin
Parker
Meadows. Parker Meadows is in AAA, maybe AA, but he might make his way up to the team. But you need Spencer Torkelson to really rebound from last year, which was one of the worst years in baseball history for a guy for his first year in the league. You need Riley Green to show what he's got. Look, they're moving the fences in a little bit. The fences are lower. They wanted the fences to be lower so you could see more Riley Green defense going over the fence to try to make catches.
Yeah.
Javi Baez is one of the best shortstops, defensive shortstops in the game. He still is. Yes.
He still is, yeah.
He still is one of the best shortstops.
Stat-wise.
And he'll be better this year. He'll be much better this year.
The defensive stats is what bothered me because, Javi Baez was good last year stat-wise, at least in the infield. Spencer Torkelson, he was like the number one or two first baseman in terms of defensive stats. Yeah. But that means nothing if you can't hit the ball.
No, you can't hit it.
You can't hit the ball. It means nothing. So I'm supporting the Tigers as always. I'll be down there.
I will too. I'll go to a ton of games.
Man, it's just
Akil Padu is down in AAA. I want to see him stick with the team. They made a trade. We'll see how that goes with the Cubs. They sent Zach Short down. They do a couple of things here and there. There's just not a lot of talent on the team, but they've made some trades in the offseason to get some players in here. You trade your closer away. You trade your setup guy away to get position players. And the Alavila era here was really bad.
Is this going to be like the first year with Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes? Like with this year, with the Detroit Tigers, will this be 2021 Detroit Lions, or will this be 2022 Detroit Lions?
Fletch?
No. It won't, because, I mean, if you want to treat that and say that it's going to be that way over the next, 10 years, then yeah, but Avila screwed that farm system so bad. I mean, the way baseball is, if you don't have players constantly coming up from these lower leagues, you're done. So, yes, if we go over the next 10 years and you're going to have, 3 years of that 3-13-1 team, and then after that you'll start jumping up, but for right now, I mean, they're done.
Let's put up the World Series odds, 5
years.
Let's check out these World Series odds, and let's go over them.
The Tigers, baby, where they at?
The Tigers aren't near the top. They're near the bottom, as you can see. But there they are. Who you like, man? With those numbers up there.
Oh, wow. Houston loses Justin Verlander, and they're still the favorites.
And they lose
the
Altuve for 3 months.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
I like, on this list, I like teams 1 through 6. I'll be boring.
San Diego, that's your team, Ryan.
I was going to say, doesn't this feel like a Padres year?
It could be.
You know, they had all those injuries last year.
Could be.
I was on the Padres with you.
Tatis with the performance-enhancing
He's
drugs.
still out for 20 games.
Yeah.
20 more games
to show.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on.
I don't even know, man.
I think the Texas Rangers at that number are going to be much better than what they are.
I think good sleeper teams. I don't even know how much they're a sleeper, but two teams I like that are not on this side. I like the Mariners. I like the Guardians. I like how the Guardians.
I love the Guardians.
I like how the Guardians finished last year. Ramirez he's a bona fide stud. Ramirez is a bona fide stud. So I like the Guardians and Mariners for Rodriguez.
I will root for the Mets.
Okay.
I will root for the Mets. If I have to adopt a team this year, I'm adopting the New York Mets.
Because they got your old bullpen?
Yeah, they got Verlander and Scherzer.
Hey, I'm with it.
But they don't have who. They don't have their closer anymore.
Diaz.
They don't have them. Timmy
you,
Trumpet is going to be silenced this year.
Look at the second row here, if you could.
The Red Sox.
Guardians, White Sox, and Twins.
It's our division.
All crappy. But I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 teams better than our whole division.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the Sox, the Sox and the Twins are much better than what they got them there on that list. They are much better, and the Guardians as well. Those teams can compete with the big boys.
They'll do what they did last year. They started off slow, kind of puxed around a little bit, and then the Guardians as well as White Sox. Because the White Sox started off the division lead last year, and eventually they puxed it away, and then Guardians swooped in the end and stole it away. So it'll probably be something similar to that.
Hey, here's something that's something good for people that really can't afford to go to games anymore, and that's the students of the game. Now, the Mets owner, who was the richest owner in baseball, Steve Cohen, he put a package
How did he
together.
get his money?
He's putting together a package that he is selling college students a $15 ticket plan to go see the New York Mets.
Is he going to give them vouchers for beer, parking, and hot dogs too?
And sports betting.
I don't know what to tell you, right? He's going to get him in the park. He's going to get him in the park.
I think this is important. Yes, $15. It's a really good thing.
And this is a real thing. I remember that term when I was in college. You always loved to hear it. Students pay. Students pay. Meaning they had a discount for college students. It's nothing like going to see a movie when you're in college, when you're basically taking you and your date for $4 and getting popcorn. Pricing. So, yeah, that's a real thing, and it's cool. I appreciate employing, especially in New York.
All right, so 69.5 for the Tigers. You start, Ryan.
Over.
What's your record then? How many wins are they going to win?
78 and 82. I'm going to say they're damn near close to 500. I think they're going to be a little bit
2 years
better.
ago, they were close.
I think they're going to be a little bit better than people think.
Okay, 78.
That's the optimism in me, too. I'll let you know tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
You also had the Tigers winning, the Lions winning how many last year?
10.
And you were close.
I was close.
What do you got, Bray?
71 and 91.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
71-91. So they'll go over, but barely. I wouldn't bet on it. But I think they'll be over by a game and a half.
Maz?
Yeah, I'm going to go just maybe one game, maybe two more over Braylon.
Okay.
72 or 73 wins.
Just as a side note, watching baseball is going to be a little bit different this year. The pitch clock apparently, on average, shaved 26 minutes off of spring training games. 20. That's a long time, especially if you're starting games at 6:40 as opposed to 7:10. And shortening the games by 26 minutes.
You can get out of there by 9 o'clock.
You get out of there by at least 9:15.
This is
9 o'clock. Yeah.
This is 100% the truth. I heard this being said on the radio, so I went home and tested the theory. I watched one of these games as I was watching something else, and the game was quick. So now, adversely, when I'm watching the WBC that didn't have a pitch clock,
you were bored.
I was bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
I like the first 2 innings were great, and then obviously 8 and 9. But I was watching, and it made such a difference from watching the game with a pitch clock versus watching it without. It's a major difference.
Hey, there's an American League voice that said, an American League general manager anonymously said, whoever came up with the pitch clock should be in the Hall of Fame.
Really?
That's what he said.
Wow. Unbelievable.
It's a real thing.
All right. That'll do it for today, Bray.
No, you get us out of here.
All right. Want to thank everybody who gives us their time here on WoodwardSports.com. However you're watching, listening, WoodwardSports.com, YouTube, Fox2Detroit.com, whatever, Apple, Google, whatever or however you watch us. We certainly appreciate it. Tell a friend about Woodward Sports Network, and hopefully you like what you see. Thanks to Fletch. Thanks to JB, Tom Mazawey, Braylon Edwards.
I got 5 shows for you real quick. If you're looking for a show to watch, Ted Lasso is amazing. Waco started last night. It was pretty good. Avatar came out on Prime. It's 3 hours and 13 minutes long.
How'd that end?
I only watched episode 1, but I know how. Look at this guy. Jared Fogle, if you're into that type of thing. And Succession did come on this past Sunday. With that being said, for JB, Fletch, Ryan, Maz, we are Woodward Sports Network, and we are out of here.
Don't forget Seinfeld.
Do I just go? I'm not going to drop. Go. All right. Go ahead.
2, 1.
Oh, my God. Go. Oh, jeez. Oh, my. Oh. This isn't right. I don't get paid enough for this.